It is 6:59 and I will call the meeting to order. We have one item to be added to the agenda. And that is our new library, I don't know if the position is chief director, the new library director. Kira is here to make a request, we just have to add it to the agenda. So I'll entertain a motion to do so.
I will make a motion to add Kira from the Martha Camefield Library to the agenda.
Second.
Motion made by Jamie and seconded by Matt to add Kira from the Martha Camefield Library to the agenda. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You've been added.
Do that right after public comments.
Yeah. Minutes.
4:45.
Yes.
So I did send you, the minutes from the December 8th meeting on Friday, and then today I sent you the minutes of all the budget meetings,
Yep.
which are pretty short. And I didn't go through all the numbers, you know, that's in the draft budget. I don't know if you want to take time and review those, because I only just sent them today. So if you only want to do the December 8th, minutes, that's fine with me, but I didn't want to withhold something that I did have prepared. So you're welcome to table those and come back to them at the next meeting, at your discretion.
Does anybody have any feelings either way?
I think they're fine.
Very
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the week of December 15th, as well as the regular select board meeting that occurred on December 8th as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Matt and seconded by Jamie to approve minutes of December 8th and the week of December 15th through the 18th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, this is the time where we open it up for public comments, and that's for anything that's not already on the agenda. So if there's anybody on the call or in the room that's not already on the agenda, now's your time, and it doesn't appear there's anybody on the call, right?
There's, GNAT and Janet.
Right,
yeah.
No response from the public.
No.
Okay. All right, so we'll dispense with public comments and move right to the highway department. Project updates.
Let's
Kira.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna do hers first, so she
Yeah.
doesn't have to
4:45.
sit through all the boring. So go ahead, Kara.
So I'm Kira April, Director of the Martha Canfield Memorial Free Library. The library is preparing an application for a HUD Public Facilities Preservation Grant to help offset the costs of a new roof and the replacement of a few rotting portions of the exterior siding. As part of the application, we are required to submit letters of support from our municipality. We respectfully request a brief letter of support from the town of Arlington, acknowledging the importance of the library facility and its role in serving the community. I'd be happy to provide any additional information or draft letter if that's helpful. Any questions or other information?
The only question I have is, do you put that out to bid? For the roof? Okay, it's a good idea to do so.
Mhm.
Yes.
I would suggest if it is appropriate for the board that Kira could send me some background information, like exactly what the grant's called and what are the key things that I should mention. And then I'll turn that into something on town letterhead and send it back.
Yeah.
Is that good?
That's fine.
And we'll go from there.
I will make a motion that the board provide a letter of support for the HUD grant for the library, and with Kira to connect with Town Administrator Browning on the details of that.
Second.
Motion made by Matt and seconded by Glenn to approve the request by the library director for the letter of support for the grant upcoming. All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye.
Everybody's getting sick. They have to speed it up.
Are you sick too?
No, no.
Thank you for coming in. And now we're on to the highway, project updates and Benedict Crossing right
I
ahead.
haven't seen.
Who wants to start?
Travel
It really only much of an update for me is the tractor that we discussed the other night. Finally got the quote. I'll read it to you here in a second, if I can ever get it. The other up here. There we go. So what their plans, if they do this, what their plans are, is to remove and replace the computer, ECU, program and test. If the fault code still persists, chassis harnesses would have to need to be replaced. Which entails removing the cap from the machine, all panels, replacing harness, and reinstalling cab. So the engine controller, the ECU, is $1,320.95. He didn't break the labor down as far as just doing that compared to the whole thing. The whole thing, both harnesses and the ECU and labor is $10,906.94. So my thought is do the ECM, see what happens. I mean, right now it still runs. It's still been working, just the code's been coming back and more frequently. So
Okay.
in our minds and their minds over there, pretty soon it's gonna start acting, losing power again.
Okay.
So my suggestion would be, let's see what that the technicians over there were more inclined to say that it's probably the ECU than the harness.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was how much, Mark?
The ECU was 13 something
Plus labor.
plus labor, and you're probably gonna save right around $1,500 in labor to change it.
$2,500
Yeah,
approximately.
because I'm thinking if that's the case, it may have them come here and change it rather than tow trailer all the way over there and then have to go back and get it. It would make the labor a little bit less doing it that way.
They have a field bill.
Oh, yeah, they've got guys on the road.
1,506 hours of labor, $1,500 roughly, right?
Yeah.
Ish.
Because it was
You get an hour.
with
program.
their travel, they charge you time and mileage. Every dealer does that now.
Yeah. Any thoughts?
C3. See if it works.
Yeah, not to exceed 3.
So I would make a motion to do is it ECM or ECU? ECU, with a not to exceed of $3,000.
I'll second.
Motion made by Jamie and seconded by Matt to authorize expenditure not to exceed $3,000 for the ECU on the loader,
The tractor, John Deere tractor.
Control the whole tractor.
the controller for the tractor. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The only thing other for highway is Mother Nature and the plow for the CV is broke down. The angle cylinders are bad and I can't get them. I'm trying every day. I call up there. He's waiting for every day he gets a tractor trailer load of parts and they don't seem to be in there. We took them to Albany to have them tore apart and they sealed. Too much damage inside. So we're either gonna pin the plow somehow so it stays in an angle, or he'll plow with a white truck if we need. Tomorrow's storm looks like 1 to 3, maybe a little bit more. So we'll get around it.
Okay.
Just FYI, my truck is ready, so we're picking that up in the morning
Oh, good.
with new springs in the rear. Yep.
Oh, good. We
Both-
con- we
both sides
contract
of
you to
rear
plow.
Both rear springs were broke, so the rear axle was just floating.
Wow.
It does a lot, the plows do.
Oh, yes.
It gets a lot of extra abuse with the sander on the back.
Takes a toll on the.
Yeah, the sand over the extra weight. Good. Okay. As long as you guys have a plan.
So, yeah, we were trying to come up with a plan for plowing at the school if we needed to tomorrow, but I should be back in business, so.
But the school's out, right?
No, the
School is out, but we've got basketball and
Oh,
sports
right,
and
right.
all
I mean,
kinds
I know
of.
you still need to plow, but it's
Yeah,
not
no.
quite as
Mm.
urgent when you're not getting.
No.
anything.
And all again, they're out this week.
Saturday seems like a bigger.
We're out for 11 days. We don't go back until January 6th.
Friday was the last day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Saw some monkeys.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Mark? Yes.
He wants executive session.
Oh, okay. We can do that now, so we don't.
No, no.
No.
No, we gotta get.
Oh, just put
Plow
on
through this
Put it at
and
the
then we'll
end,
hit that at the end.
Is that for personnel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, fire department.
Oh, wait, could I just do the Benedict Crossing?
Yes, oh, I'm sorry. Go
That's all
ahead.
right, that's
We
okay.
weren't done.
So I did, do a letter to Mr. Pickering. I think I gave each of you a copy.
I have a copy.
And I consulted land use administrator Joe Nash, and she had gotten direction from the state flood hazard area regulators with respect to Mr. Kelly's situation. And the bottom line is that if he wants to put a fence in the flood hazard area, he needs to sink the posts in deep. And they don't want to be used wire fencing or anything that would like gather flood debris or something. So barbed wire would be fine, you know, which is what he's used. So my letter basically says, that he needs to remove the fencing that's inside the marked highway right of way that I marked. And it's really just that one side where the fencing angles to the abutment and prevents access. So he needs to remove that. And if he doesn't remove it, I will. And if he wants to put another fence, you know, beyond the highway right of way that's in the floodplain, he should abide by those rules, but he doesn't have to get a permit or anything. It's possible I should revise it and make it clear that he doesn't need a permit to do that. And I thought I would do a little sketch so he could see, you know, exactly what I meant.
Yeah, that might be helpful.
Yeah, so this is actually a good result, because if he wants to put a fence beyond the highway right of way to keep people off his property, he can do so. The only difference would be the question of the floodplain people wanting to sink the posts into the ground.
You have it in here that he wouldn't need a permit, so.
So do I say that already?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The one question that I have, and
Yeah.
I haven't read all the way through that letter, but one question I have is for him to take down the fence now and put it where it belongs. The ground is frozen.
Well, he can't do that now, and he can't.
I'm just saying,
But this is just for the
just make
spring.
it clear to him that
But all he has
as
to
soon
do,
as weather permits.
right, and he doesn't have to remove the posts that he put in there. He
Right.
just needs to cut the barbed wire, and then he can put in new posts a little further out
Yeah,
and, you know, in the spring, but obviously, no, he
Yeah,
can't
he-
sink anything, no.
I don't want to have an open section of fence with animals in there. And they get all over it.
No, this is just right by the,
That's a major inconvenience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, I just want to make sure that that was clear. Okay. Anything else on the highway?
No.
Fire department, final hearing of the alarm ordinance and many meetings.
Yes.
So, I think I only made one copy of, the reformatted version that Karen had done, but I created a signature page with today's date, because by my
Okay,
calc,
did you fix the,
I fixed the X's.
perfect, and there was one other X that needed to be fixed.
Oh, I
and that
didn't
was
see
on
it.
section 13, but we
But I
can
can fix that, I can fix
cross it
that.
out.
I can fix it, because the key thing is the signature page.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yes,
was
I
just
see
the
that.
phone number that
I
I
see
didn't put in. at
No,
the
no, I
time.
fixed that. Yeah, but I didn't fix that on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And the PO box.
no, it's
Oh,
up
you
on
did.
top.
This one.
But that's the draft. We're not signing a draft. We have
Yeah,
to
but
sign.
didn't you
but-
just take the watermark off the draft?
Yeah.
I didn't. It wasn't on this version.
No, this, section 13.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
You have the phone number now?
It has a phone number, but it has X's. The version that I have
Huh?
here has X's, and I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, we don't have it.
That's like Karen's file.
No, she's talking about 16, this one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I fixed 16, but I didn't fix 13.
no, 13 is fixed. 13 is fixed, it's fixed during that now.
Okay, so 13 is not fixed in the version I have,
That's
so
not 13. It is.
it is 13.
It actually is.
Now, I can totally
You
fix
just
that.
fix that. That's
I'll
the
fix
only
it.
thing that changed.
Yeah,
So,
I can fix that and,
There's a phone number and a PO box on
And a
that.
PO
yeah, no,
box
and
that
I
needs
just
to be
didn't see that. I
changed.
was focused on
Yeah.
the date. I didn't see it. See, I was trying to be so efficient. Anyway,
It makes
part
sense.
way
So-
efficient.
this is the final,
Reading or
reading or
hearing.
hearing on the town of Arlington, Vermont alarm ordinance. This alarm ordinance replaces our previous version from, I believe it was 1981. So we've reworded it for modern technology and modern use. At this time, if there is any public comment or questions, we will open the hearing. I guess this is considered open the hearing to review the alarm ordinance. The only changes I had were the corrections in section 13 for the phone number and the PO box. Everything else, there has been no comments submitted to the select board, town administrator, or by the fire chiefs at this time. So if there are no other comments regarding the hearing, I would make a motion that we adopt the proposed language of the town of Arlington alarm ordinance dated this 22nd day of December 2025, and that will become effective 60 days from this date. So the effective date by my calculation will be the 19th of February 2026.
That's not good.
What date did you have? It's on Dan's copy. Dan, what's the last page? Effective date of ordinance? 60 days
The
from.
13th, I had the
13th.
13th. I may have miscalculated it.
Yeah, I think it's the 19th.
So that needs to be corrected
Okay.
as well. Are you gonna correct this page?
What I'll do is
Sign it?
I'll cut and paste, so we can use the signature, because you can approve it with
Gotcha.
conditional on those corrections, but
Okay.
everybody go ahead and sign it, and I'll make those corrections.
So we as corrected.
I'll second.
Motion made by Matt and seconded by Karen to approve the final ordinance dated January 22nd of 2025 with the following corrections. The phone number in section 13 and the PO box in section 13 needs to be corrected. And then the date of effectiveness on the bottom of the ordinance is also needs to be corrected. So, anyone, all those in favor, signify by saying
Aye.
aye.
Thank you. We have, with Karen's help,
This isn't for the last one.
yeah, because you fixed the formatting.
Right.
Just send her the corrected formatting one. With that, when it becomes effective, with Karen's help, we have the permit certificate that will get loaded into our RMS platform, which will help handle permit management. In addition to that, we will have a PDF fillable form. So I will get with the fire chief so that the chiefs can get us a list of commercial properties that this applies to. And we can get a mailing out to them and start collecting our permitting fees. So that's with the alarm ordinance. Other updates that I have, working on onboarding our insurance billing provider, which will also go into effect when the new ordinance goes into effect with the pricing, which is coming up here at the end of the year. I think next week, that actually has been 60 days since we adopted that. So I just got the onboarding email today. I'll get that to the fire chiefs later this week so that they can work on that next week. So we can start billing for automobile response, et cetera. And tomorrow is the fire departments having their annual meeting, so I will be in attendance to represent the select board.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I will be there as well.
I
as a
wouldn't
member.
go, but again, I don't.
You know, it's fine. That's all I have for the fire department. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Good. So on with the GNAT funding policy.
So this is, what we had a presentation from Ms. Riley the other night.
Yep.
And they are, at GNAT is asking for a line of $4,173 in the budget. And the board did discuss the possibility of treating it as a vendor line and specifying a certain number of meetings to be covered. GNAT has been, asking for $2,000 or thereabouts from the public. So this is a net increase of something over $2,000. I think that after hearing her presentation, I was more understanding of how we might approach this than I had been before, but I still think it may be something to come back in the future. I think they should stay on the appropriations, but that's just my position. It's up to the board.
Any other thoughts?
I think that's a big jump.
It's 100% increase,
Right.
I will abstain from the conversation.
right? Because you're on the board
I-
of GNAT.
So as a board member of the GNAT, they have gone out to 5 different towns for this?
That's correct.
Okay.
And so it is in the budget in Manchester. In their 5 town or their service area, it's Arlington and Londonderry are the last 2 that are not in their
Yes.
operating budget.
I don't have a problem with them asking for that money, but I think that I don't see a compelling reason to put it in the budget at this point. I'd like to see them petition. That's just me. Any other thoughts?
They're on viewing right now and broadcasting as well, so I do understand the point of being able to say, if you are receiving this money, then you must be at certain meetings. That's, as a vendor, we can do that, as the way they are, I don't think we can.
We don't really.
They are free to do whichever meetings they want.
But do they really need to be here? That's the whole. I mean, town hall meeting.
I know where my in-laws have no internet, so they watch everything on cable TV. And this is where they watch all of our meetings, and through GNAT on TV. I think there's a lot of individuals, we have a lot of older.
Right, and they're still seeing it.
Sure.
I mean, but they don't have to physically be here. in order
No,
to take
no,
that
but-
footage and-
So we would have a voice to say they have to be broadcasting one way or another.
Oh, you mean at real time?
Right.
Right. So I see both sides of the coin here. It's 100% increase. And right now we don't have any say in what they cover, or we go to something like this and we say for this money, you are required to cover X amount.
Right.
So,
My thinking on that is if we did that, and I'm not necessarily opposed to it, we should probably define those things in a contract that they sign like any other vendor.
correct.
100%.
Correct.
If I put my town of Arlington hat on, a vendor requires a contract and an agreement. Yes. Run it through commercials and, be able to get both parties to sign that to move forward.
The one thing that we must be careful from
Is moving forward,
moving forward,
other entities trying to do the
essentially,
same thing.
they are got a monopoly. So we have to be careful what we agree to do and what we agree not to do, because if they have the monopoly, they can kind of hold us over the barrel.
Well, they don't have a monopoly because we do have the YouTube channel. It
Yeah.
doesn't have the real time that.
Right.
that,
Presentation.
If you don't have the internet, you can't do
Right.
that, which,
Right.
and I understand that's a big thing,
Mhm.
but we do have the capacity to make it available. I mean, I guess I feel that their mission is to do this kind of community service. Their funding stream has changed, and I understand that's a big problem.
So the
But I
business
don't
model must
see,
change.
but I don't, given all the other things that the town of Arlington is dealing with and what the property taxpayers will be asked to approve, I think it's better for them to stay in the appropriations. And, I just, at least for another year, and maybe we come back to it next year. I just don't. But it's up to you though.
But like you said, if they put in $4,000 as opposed to putting the 2,000 that they put in, there's 1 year, it wasn't last year, but the year before. They were rejected for the
voted
2,
down,
it was
yeah.
voted down. If they put the 4,000 in, like you said, if they're voted down, they get nothing.
Nothing.
Right,
So that's
yeah,
another,
any article that goes down,
right,
it's not last year's funding,
right,
it's nothing.
it's nothing. So that's another,
So that's a consideration. But I see your point. It's a valid point, so. Anyone care to make a motion one way or the other? Or would you like to think about it? We'll come back to it.
We actually can't wait too long because they're gonna have to do their petitions. So
Correct.
they need to go on the
I
appropriations.
agree with that.
Your thoughts, Tony?
I see both sides of it, kind of like you. I do have concern about what Karen just said. If the article, if they go through the appropriations and they don't get anything,
Right,
I see that.
I mean,
But-
Tammy was here when she presented, and I'll just recite the facts that I heard from Tammy is that Arlington is a very engaged town for viewership, and they don't have any way to calculate what the cable subscription viewership is. There's no way to tell who watches what channel. Cable is slowly going away, right?
Yeah.
Traditional cable, but to your point, there are a lot of people that
older
still
generation.
have that
The older
here in
generation that
Arlington,
does
a
not.
lot of people. So
The other thing that I see with GNAT, and it's not just this broadcasting, is they do engage with the students at the school a lot.
they
And
do
we have a
have a
lot of local students that do the camps up there and are learning about broadcasting and all that. And
that's really the core of their mission and what the PEG TV stations were really set out to do was to allow community access. I think government broadcast and programming is something that they do, but by requirement of the funding from Comcast is not something that they have to do.
Just to note that she did say that they were not asking the school for a separate amount.
No.
So we would essentially be paying for the
for
school's
that
meetings.
coverage as well.
Which, again, I'm not sure that's the right way to do it. They have what does the school have, a $5 million budget? Why should we be paying
I was
for
gonna say 10.
And
no,
and
I mean,
the other thing
it's,
that, the other thing that she did say, that at least I was hearing her,
yeah,
they were heading toward, the state is heading toward requiring certain things that they
closed
provide.
caption.
Closed captioning, certain coverages and so forth. So we may, in a year, have no choice.
may come before years up.
And it may be before the year's up, maybe, it might start July 1st.
Right. Well, that's
So-
due to the public meeting law changes that.
Yeah, if
have
they
been
change
slowly
the public
being
meeting law, then
introduced.
we're captive. But, so keep that in mind, regardless of which way the motion.
Completely agnostic, and I don't have an answer for this, but you've also got this double-edged sword that if you've got towns that are contracting, right, and it's in the budget, they would, in my mind, be first priority over a town that either doesn't have a vendor. It would be like any vendor, right?
Took the words out of my mouth.
So
Right.
let's look at it as any vendor. I'm a contracted vendor for this municipality providing widgets. And so they're going to get their widgets first over the other town that has no contract. And maybe we got some appropriation or we got no appropriation for widgets, which may be best effort. right? So you can get a little service level agreement.
That's kind of where I was leading with how many towns have they gone out to and are signed on? Are they gonna get more access than we do? So, I mean,
Where would we find the money anyway? That's the.
we're gonna build it into the budget.
Build the regular budget.
Which is really what's the increase, if I'm thinking budgetary numbers, because really they got 2,000 last year for the appropriation and they're asking for what?
4,100?
If I
$2,673.
recall, I think they started out at 2,000 when they first came.
$2,173.
And I don't think they've had an increase since. So in that context, the 4,000 doesn't look so bad.
Right, I think
10
you're
years.
correct. I think it's been the same number
I think it's been for a
for
while.
ages.
It's been
Since I've been on
2,000
board.
almost from the day they started doing it.
Yeah.
So that's.
Well,
also
because they didn't go out
consideration.
and petition every year for an increase,
They
so.
just kept it
I mean,
where it
to move this forward,
I think,
I would make a motion to approve the GNAT funding in the budget for $4,173.
second.
Motion made by Jamie and seconded by Gwen to,
Where did you get the 41?
4173 is what Cynthia
I
said.
just
they
got
requested.
it from her letter. I have her letter. I
Yeah.
sent you guys her letter, but I pulled the number from her letter.
Okay.
the motion was to approve the funding request and put it in the budget of $41,173.
$4,173.
$4,173. Any discussion?
Just
We
to have
haven't
a
already
bunch.
had.
Could I just,
Yes,
so is this we're gonna come up with some conditions in terms of the number of meetings, like definitely the annual meeting, the town meetings, and then some conditions about how many select board meetings? or
Yes,
school
I
board
think we
meetings,
will have to
Special
write,
meetings.
we will have to write a
something out.
contract.
Right.
Okay, but we'll approve it in concept and the contract will follow.
Correct.
Okay.
yep, exactly.
They don't have to physically be here.
It's unnecessary.
It's
It really is
unnecessary.
They can tape it, you know.
Just the way they're doing it.
They're doing
Yeah,
it right
yeah,
now.
that's
They're
what
doing it
I'm
right
saying.
now.
They're
Yeah.
Broadcasting live and taping.
Yeah.
it, so
There's no tape though.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's live broadcasting right now.
It's just live
Okay,
Tape is dead.
but we call it,
Discos.
right?
recording.
Yeah.
Different animals. Everybody understand the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Wow,
Abstain.
one abstention. Motion carries. All right, tobacco license. This only requires a verbal approval. And it is for DG Retail LLC, which is Dollar General. It is a tobacco license. So if anyone cares to
Make a motion.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No, I'll do it during discussion.
Okay. I make a, what is the something?
Tobacco, DG Retail LLC,
Okay.
also known as Dollar General.
I'll make a motion to approve DG Retail LLC for their tobacco license.
Is there a second?
If they have any violations?
Not to my knowledge, but I have a question on that too. So motion made by Glenn, seconded by Jamie, to approve the verbal or the tobacco license for DG Retail LLC. Discussion,
They have any violations?
don't know,
I have no way of knowing. I can ask Robin.
okay? They
They have to abide by state law.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that, but, you know, sometimes
But isn't it,
retailers have violations and then they get temporarily suspended and then it's reinstated, right? Because they run secret shoppers to see if they're actually got ID and everything.
I've been in probably once every week. I've not seen them not sell.
Right.
Okay.
Mark has a remark.
I'll just say for a tobacco user, that is the only retailer that I've ever been to where I am ID'd every time I buy.
Okay,
It's good to know.
all right,
Every time. And it doesn't matter which location.
okay. Well, then they're following their corporate policy. They have a lot of employee turnover there too, like any retailer. So that's my main question is if
Right.
they had any violations
Yep.
that we know of. It might be good in the future when we get those applicants, because we could query the state before the meeting to ask if
Yeah,
they
that's
had
right.
any violations. So the same thing with liquor.
I'll make a note of that.
Liquor
Yeah.
applications, I'd be very curious if they've had violations, because that could sway
I
us.
don't know if it's always public though, whether when those are really.
But if the municipality.
suspension.
Seems like it should be.
I
think
don't
the
know.
state will tell
I would
you,
assume,
Okay.
yeah.
Stay with-
Yeah.
I believe.
and it's public record.
So everybody understand the motion? All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. I do have a comment, and I don't think it has to do with this, but it has to with Jello generally. I think in their permitting, there were certain requirements that they were given. I'm not sure what they were,
Yes, there
but
were.
it seems as though they are really lax on their maintenance. The other day I was over there after the big storm, and the parking lot was a disaster.
Mhm.
There's a truck in the parking lot, and he was like, I can't even get to the door. But,
Because they hadn't plowed.
well, it's corporate.
Got trees
they-
growing in their gutters,
Yeah.
I do know-
They took those down.
I do
Finally.
know
some of them.
VSP was in contact with the Dollar General,
Yeah.
the CEO.
My recollection is that the condition on their permit had to do with, selling items outside the store. And the condition was that they could only have the ice machine and the carts outside the store. And they were always starting to put chairs and, you know, tubes, and they were always starting to
Right.
put things. And the condition was that they couldn't do that. And so we had to remind them, you know, and take them a copy of the permit a couple of times before they stopped doing that. I haven't noticed them doing that, but I don't think we have put anything about plowing. You know,
Okay.
we would assume
Yeah.
they could manage their own property, you know.
I mean, it's a national retailer, right? So you're gonna fall. It's it's all cost optimized.
Yeah.
So,
And sometimes if it's not snowing a lot at corporate offices, they don't send anybody out.
well,
We have
it's
these
not,
microclimates.
A lot of their maintenance is subcontracted out to the lowest bidder too.
All of their exterior maintenance is contracted out to a separate company, like, say, the Northeast.
Yeah.
Because I used to plow there, so
Sure.
and then at that point in time, the company that I handled it, we had to get permission every time to go into, do anything to the parking lot.
Yeah.
With a phone call. You had to actually call someone, tell them what the temperature was, how much snow was on the ground. They would tell you then either if you could or could not.
Yep.
Do the parking. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Pretty
not like,
typical.
you know, a local.
Same thing with the post office.
Yeah, so.
yes, exactly. So it's, and I don't know if we can
I don't
tell
know if
them that
there's
they
anything
have
we
to
can do
plow
about it.
their
I-
driveway.
I
That's,
doubt it.
if they don't wanna plow it, they don't
We
have
went in
customers.
for a fire department emergency for propane and the driveway was not plowed.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that,
trudging through that first storm
maybe
of 10 inches.
keeping the fire lane clear, right? Like that. It's hard.
Unless it's written into the original permit
That's
Right.
correct.
with,
That's correct. Yeah, and you can't amend it now, so.
No, no.
I'm
And
sure
we
like
never
Cynthia
even
said,
thought
I'm
about
sure we
that,
didn't
never
even.
even occurred that.
Yeah.
Right,
No.
we think as a national
Yeah,
store that they'd want it.
right, we never.
You would
never
think they would
heard
wanna
that.
have a good
Yeah.
reputation, but I don't think they care.
No.
All right, that was my 2 cents worth.
There's a little Dollar General growing in the back. Pop up soon.
Yeah. All right, so
I shut my pager off. You want to know?
Do you have any?
dog license fees.
Okay, so, at the, one of the budget meetings, possibly Wednesday last week, we discussed changing, looks like the ambulance. We discussed changing the fees for the dog licenses. The board discussed changing them to $15 for an altered animal and $20 for an unaltered animal. It turns out that there's a statute and regulations that govern the fees. And if it's gonna be 15 and the other one has to be $4 more, it has to be 19. So the board was trying to be helpful to the town clerk's office, so they wouldn't have to find all these $1 bills. But of course, the state regulations
There's a
prevent
government
us.
obstacle
Yes.
in the way.
But the board had left it to finalize tonight because, you know, that wasn't it was just a budget meeting. So I would ask the board to establish those dog license fees going forward at $15 for an altered animal and $19 for an unaltered.
I'll make a motion to approve the new 2026 dog licensing fees of $15 for altered animals and $19 for unaltered animals.
The motion made by Matt and seconded by Jamie to set the dog license fees for 2026 at $15 for an altered animal and 19 for an unaltered. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No,
That's
while
just-
we're on the dog licenses.
Yes.
We have a number of dog licenses that have not been taken care of, that we know of. We've got some dogs that have been creating a huge nuisance in two different parts of town that have really not been dealt with. One on Maple Hill, one up on,
School Street too.
I haven't heard about School Street, but up on Cedar Rock Road. They're in the road, they're going after people walking by. Maple Hill has had a couple people,
Two different
Yeah.
incidents.
children and stuff, so, we need to have a meeting with our dog catcher.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And that was
100%.
already on the list from the perspective of that he hasn't followed up with all those unlicensed
Unlicensed
dogs.
dogs.
But then we have these other things, and I remember hearing about Maple Hill, I hadn't heard about
It
Cedar Rock.
needs,
But, so let
It
me
needs to
try
be-
to, ask
it
him
needs to
to
be,
come
yeah.
to a, what would be best for the board? Do you want him to come to a select board meeting? Do you want him to meet with a subset of the board? What do you
Well, we
want?
should address these
yeah,
issues right now.
right,
I mean,
I think he needs to come to the next meeting.
I'd like them to come to a select board.
Okay,
but he
meeting.
that's
also needs
And I'd
to
also
address
like,
these now. before-
Right, I know, I'm
Yeah.
asking for instruction.
I'd
That's
also
fine.
like a copy of his contract ahead of time to
Yep.
review.
Right.
I mean, he's a great guy and he does a lot of different towns with this, but we've got some issues with some animals that need to be dealt with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what would be good is if, at that meeting, if people could have whatever information you have about those other problem situations
Yeah.
in terms of who, he probably already has some of it, but you never know. So, names
The
and
cops
phone
would
numbers or
make
whatever.
Yeah.
It would be nice for, when he does come, ask him to bring what he believes his list of open issues are that he's working on.
Have him do a little homework for us too.
Yep.
A summary of what he's done for the year.
Yes.
That would also be good.
very good.
While we're in budgeting.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Anything else with dogs?
I think the 15 and 19 should still work pretty well for the
Yeah.
clerk's
You
office.
just need one.
Because I
dog.
think the majority of dogs are probably altered dogs.
I would think.
I would think the majority of them are, so I don't know what the split is on that, but
The bank's right around the corner.
I know, it's just, I get it. Yeah.
The
only
ones are still there.
one,
The
no.
pennies went away, but the ones are still available.
For now,
Till next year.
All right, preliminary draft budget for 2026.
Okay, so, I gave you a lot of, paper. I sent you a memo. I gave you a paper copy of that explaining what I thought I was doing. These things, essentially, there's one packet that's all the town hall stuff, one packet that's the highway, one packet that's the fire, cemetery, and park. And what I have is I have the 2025 budget and then the draft 2026 amounts. I only put in expenses. I'm not looking at the revenue. So, I'm just focusing on the expenses. When it was personnel or things like insurance or taxes, I left last year's numbers because I don't have this year's. The only exception is for some reason, at some point, I changed the town administrator number. I reduced it because I was thinking, well, we won't hire somebody new till the spring. And that was stupid, but you can readjust that. I did give you totals for each department and I gave you an overall total. And you can pretty much trace what's happening because the changes in the health insurance did offset some of the increases in spending, but then increases in capital reserve fund allocations, increased the highway, obviously, and the fire department taking over the firehouses. We do not have the final amounts for the utilities from Kendall yet. I put a placeholder in there. Janet has been in touch with her, so we will get that. So, but at least this shows you where we are with no increases in compensation, including the changes in the health insurance. And it gives you something to look at. And what I think would make sense is for the board to take this and compare what I put in with your notes, because as I was saying to Karen before the meeting, you know, sometimes people will say 20,000, 15,000, 12,000, and I would end up with a number, but I was like an auctioneer. I wasn't sure if I ended up with the right number.
Yeah, we were
So,
hitting a lot
and
of
we might,
numbers.
and we might want to, I mean, obviously, all
Just
this is
verify.
changeable.
Nothing
It's
else.
all changeable, but I would, I
I think that's a
think,
good idea.
I don't know that it makes sense to try to start going through it.
No,
Line by
I'd
line
like to,
tonight.
I'd like to
dive- kind of
dive
dive into
into
Yeah,
it.
that's what I think. That's
You know,
it.
as we stand right now, looking at this from 25 to 26, right, we're like at 2.5% increase, which is on the town expense budget, which is pretty fiscally responsible. I
That
know
doesn't-
that we have to do, I know we have to do salaries yet, but even with that, I think we'll be well within a 5%, probably.
But it doesn't have the county taxes and the insurance, those things are gonna
Yeah.
go up too.
Yeah,
But I agree, I think.
but yeah, I
that's
mean,
not
where we're
bad.
at right
It's not
now,
bad.
I mean,
Not
at 47,557 on just under a $2 million budget, like, I'm sure we could cut if we needed to take that 47,000 out. We
Yeah.
could just do just take a clear percentage across the board and just reduce all the budgets and be fine to go forward.
And I think 47, I can't remember the rule of thumb. What's in my head is that a penny on the tax rate was about 30,000. It may be more like 35,000 now or something like that.
Yeah.
So 47 is a penny and a half or something, you know.
BLTC can correct me, but I think it's 31,000 and change per cent, per penny of the rate. But they'll have that number right off the top of their head. I know.
I don't know why they would, because it depends on our grand list and everything.
We just.
But anyway, we'll figure, and
So I
I
think,
I've
you
got
know,
an email out to Nick because I need to meet with him to have him help me with some of these things, you know, make sure I get things right.
I would say that our week of meetings last week were very beneficial from the town
Yeah.
expense budget. And I
Yeah.
think that, even but when I look at what the increase is, I mean, a lot of that is estimations based on us taking over 2 additional buildings
Yeah.
and assets within the town, really. I mean,
Right.
we're roughly, right? Like 2/3 of that probably accounts for that.
Yeah.
So, we've got these additional assets in town now that we own, that we have to maintain and take care of. So, I think we did really good at 2.5% so far. And I think, when we get the final numbers, push comes to shove, we can keep this within a manageable range for our constituents.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, and I think it was hard doing all those meetings in a row, but, I think it's better, and I think I'm certainly more in the budget, and I think the board is too, understanding the budget than when you just,
It was way better than previous years how we did it. So,
so I think it was worth it, and I thank the board for their patience with me.
No problem. All right.
And then,
Yes, go for it, Mark.
on the highway budget, and maybe this is all just typo or whatever. On the town garage section, this is maintenance 0. Both of them.
Really? Oh, see, Mark, you must have done some of the irritating thing.
And then down below, it says under electricity, 1,500 on last year, 6,000 on this year. I'm kind of confused on that.
well, remember.
I mean, that's just.
Electric
and
we
it
bumped up,
could be just,
didn't we?
you were looking at the wrong.
I know, I had a lot of trouble getting in the right line, so I may have.
That's all.
We're-
I just
we're-
noticed that.
We're,
That's
we're,
all.
Probably
we're-
easier if we actually did it in the spreadsheet and not on paper.
Okay, so I got things, I got things. I think it's the petroleum that's supposed to be 0. I got things. I'll go back and look at my
I'll get you
original.
a card sheet. I just,
Yeah, no. Was there anything else besides that?
the electricity.
I do have my notes and stuff from everything this week though, so I'm just gonna.
1,500 last year, 6,000
I don't know.
this
what I
year.
did. Okay, so I have to,
Well, we thought that the electricity was wrong last year. It's been miscoded.
It's been misquoted, right?
Okay,
So, but I'll.
The $600 for the year for electricity there, that's like 2 months. of
no, it's a
electricity.
6,000, but then it's a 1,500.
It was at
Unless-
1,500.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
at 1,500, that's not right.
Sure, exactly.
So,
I mean, you should be able to come up with that.
Well,
Everybody.
as we
It's gotta be-
said in the meetings, there was a lot of things that we believe were miscoded into the wrong GL
Right,
account.
right.
So where it's moving from one budget to another, we should be balancing those out. They should be pretty close.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but what we want to do going forward is make sure that everything is coded correctly in the GL.
Right, and I have a list of things that Janet and I are gonna go more deeply into it. I marked when you guys said, what is in this line, like these problems with that there's 0 and 1 and a
Right,
lot of
right.
that. So she and I are gonna do a deep dive. She had to do the warrants and the payroll
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything, so we'll come back to that. And Mark, I'll go over and I'll.
Yeah, no, I just
No,
thought.
no, no,
that's all.
that's why I gave it to you. That's why I gave it to you. You can find my
And that's
mistake.
fine, I just wanted to.
No, I'm glad you did, and I'll.
My street, that's-
I
Well, you
have-
guys can get together during the workday.
No, I
and
have
go
the
over it.
original.
Okay, let's moving on.
All right,
The rest of that could be an email.
so we're gonna review those and find any mistakes or.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and I'll,
bring it up
put it on
next
the
meeting. You can
agenda for the
change-
next meeting.
you
Yeah,
will-
and I'll
Awesome.
fix Mark. In terms of the MERP project planning, I was hoping to have an updated, recommendations. You know, we talked about what we're gonna go ahead with for this building and for the garage, but I just didn't get to that, so I'll have to come back to that to the next meeting.
For the public's benefit, what does MERP stand for?
Municipal Energy Resilience Projects.
Okay.
All right, so we'll have more to come on that. Personnel policy review and revised health insurance section.
So I did send you guys, a copy of the current personnel policy, which includes the things about holidays and various rules and the health insurance. And, what has happened is our practice with health insurance has evolved in ways that are not reflected in the policy. And, the two things that I'm aware of are that it needs to be clear, according to the treasurer and Janet, the best thing for them is if someone's coverage starts the first of the month that occurs after they've been hired. So you don't have to do all kinds of complicated prorating. So we would like that to be in the policy. And then the other thing is,
What section is that? Do you know?
no, I don't, I'm sorry, off the top of my head. So, and then the other thing is, and I don't even know if what it says about, when the health insurance goes into effect, but the treasurer wants it to be the first of the month after you're hired. The other issue is that historically, the practice was that part-time employees like the town clerk or the treasurer or the administrative assistant would have access to the health insurance stipend because they did not qualify for the insurance coverage. But what has happened is it's evolved so that full-time employees who do qualify who are eligible for the insurance coverage could also take the stipend in lieu of coverage, and that's what we just did.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this evolution happened. At some point, I started thinking about it that way, and I wrote it down that way. And I don't know if that was what was in the board's head or not, but we're kind of stuck with that because we've done that. So we have to adjust the policy to reflect it. We can always come back to it in the future, but it needs to reflect what we're actually doing. So I would want to direct the board's attention to the benefit section with the health insurance. There may be many other things. Karen, with her eagle eye, has already found a number of typos and inconsistencies, which I'm not surprised to hear about. So we can certainly do a broader rewrite. And this isn't urgent. I just don't like.
I think we should do a broader rewrite of this to start 2025 off on the right
Okay.
foot.
Okay.
Or 26, I'm sorry. I haven't had a chance today to read through this in its entirety and go through it with my red pen, but I would like to do that.
I think that'd be
Karen,
great.
would you like to get,
Section 18, that eligibility. for
Yeah, that's
benefits.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Karen, would you like to get together with me next week? Can we do this the week after? But, in the
We'll-
next
we'll-
like month, do you wanna get together? Maybe Karen and I can get together on this?
I think that's plenty of time. I mean, we've got other things to do.
Yeah.
But I
Maybe
think,
not for next meeting, but
The
following.
following meeting,
Yeah.
yeah, or we can exchange emails together.
Yeah, the other thing that I just want
Calendar for the
to
year is
mention,
on.
now that people take the stipend in lieu of.
Be
Yeah.
January
Yeah.
twenty-sixth.
There should be a statement in their file
We have to
stating that they
change- we
do
have to
have
change.
healthcare coverage. And I'm not sure if they did, because I remember. we
Right,
did
they
that.
have to.
I think that we can ask Janet
We
about
have to
that. I
change
don't
the
know if she's,
stipend in there.
listening to us, but I
Yes.
think that they've had to
Karen.
fill out something saying that they are, or that they are not taking the insurance. I don't know about the 1095 thing or
No,
whatever it
it's
is.
just that they have to have, because I remember
They
when I was
have to
working at the
Prove
school.
that they have
They have to
insurance through another source.
say that they have denied the benefit coverage, but they also, and that they're receiving the stipend, but they do have healthcare
coverage,
coverage. And I
okay.
think it's a state
It's a
requirement.
It is.
that they
It
do
is.
that.
So we
It
have
is,
to have a
yes.
statement in
Yeah,
their
so
file.
it has to
Okay.
be in the file. And
Okay, then I
just-
think that'd be good to add
Don't know
that.
if Janet knew that, but,
I didn't know that, and I don't know that we have that.
and then there was, do we want to go over this now or no?
I think it would be good for everybody to have a chance to look over it,
Okay.
but if you want to
Yeah.
send me things like that, that I can, start working on, I'd be happy to do that. But I think everybody should have a chance to look at it, and, you and Matt can look at it together, or you can send me your rewrites.
Why don't we exchange some rewrites in email, Karen, over the next like 3 weeks or so? Because I'll let you track those, because you're so good at the formatting.
Oh, stop it.
You
We-
are. I can do the
We
content.
do have that form. We
you
have that
do have-
form. No, we have it. The company that we hired supplied that to us,
Oh,
our
okay.
advisors. And Josh has already signed it. We have that form.
Okay,
Awesome.
I just remembered that it was important that, we make sure that we have some kind of record.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a state requirement and we have it.
Okay,
Thanks, Janet.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks, Janet.
and here's an email.
I just, another note on the, kind of related to the personnel policies, I did update the annual performance evaluation form today,
Excellent.
and I sent that to Cynthia, so she has that in her mailbox. An email that did it not go? I'll double check.
Could I see a copy of that also?
Yeah, I'll send it to you individually. So I'm thinking, with the holiday, we should probably distribute those to employees just after the first of the year for self-evaluation, and we can get that banged out probably relatively quickly before, and we can put a placeholder in the budget.
Yes,
So let me see, I
that
thought,
reminded me, Cynthia, did you get, Andy's letter back, signed letter? You haven't?
I haven't.
Okay.
So Andy needs to return that letter, about the accident. He needs to sign it to acknowledge that he's read it. By signing it, all he's acknowledging is that he's read it. He's not saying anything
Okay,
else.
I knew knew about a letter, I didn't know he had it, I didn't know.
Okay,
that-
I dropped it off and there was.
Oh, I thought he signed it and gave it back to you.
No.
There was a
Okay.
copy for him to keep and then a copy for him to sign and return to us.
Okay.
And we need that back. Okay, so that's the personnel policy, the town administrator's report. Once again, I don't have a written report because I was doing all this other stuff. I will say that Janet has put a list of the meetings for 2026 at your place, I think.
Yep.
And, some of the months are a little bit awkward, but there's nothing we can do. It's holidays that make things weird. So, we're kind of stuck with it. The other thing that I wanted to just mention, and I don't know if this is something that should be in executive session, is, questions about the lister's office and where we are going forward. And I'd be happy to discuss it generally on the record or in the executive session. It's up to the board.
I think we should, probably that's executive session.
Okay, that's fine.
Personnel.
Then
Under personnel.
but I will just say that I will keep working on the budget things and I will circle back to the wastewater And, there are a number of different grants I need to work on. And I will be trying to work, and catch up a little bit now that, I'm more or less back to normal. And,
Before we, set the calendar in stone, I would request that if
Got it.
possible, that we put the water department meetings on the night of a select board meeting and just do the warning for the water board meeting immediately to follow by the select board meeting.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it just makes total
And
sense.
those water board meetings never take too terribly long
No, they
anyways.
don't take very long. So if we do that on the same night as a select board meeting, it's 4 less nights we have to be out if we do that.
I understand that. I will just, the only comment I will make is that we have sometimes when we don't get out of a select board meeting until almost 10 o'clock, and that's without a water board meeting. So I just want to mention that.
Well, we can
do it-
start limiting time on topics in the
Something,
select
yeah.
board meeting and limit, public comments to 5 minutes per person, and we can move them right along.
Some meetings take more than others. That's just. the way it
Okay,
is.
so the idea, but I think it's still good to have it at 7 PM.
I do agree with that.
Okay,
Yes.
so Janet, did you hear that?
Yep,
Okay,
Okay.
so we're gonna put all the water meetings on, select board meeting nights, and the water board meeting will be first to be followed
I think that
immediately
just
by
makes
the select.
sense.
board.
all right, sounds good.
So start like the water is on the
Yeah.
12th, we would have it on the 26th.
We just move it around so that it needs
Move it
to,
around so
it just,
it syncs
you
with
just
the
have to be
select.
quarterly, it doesn't, the precise date.
That just- All it does is, you have to be out
Yep,
4 times a
Nope,
year for
I got
one
it.
extra time.
I got it.
I much prefer that, and I think everybody else.
It's easier to plan too, especially
Oh,
with
definitely.
work travel.
Yeah.
Agreed. Should we do the warrant stand before executive
Yeah.
session?
Otherwise,
I'm gonna hand those to me and I can bang them out.
Already have the numbers and everything.
Okay. Let's see. Start with
Thank you for
the,
coming.
Yeah, thank you,
it's
Karen.
been tantalizing, I hope.
Did Santa come? Yeah, to the weather? Okay,
Have a Merry Christmas.
yeah. You're doing great stuff.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, Water Department, check warrant report, WD 25 in the amount of $4,876.56. Looks like Green Mountain Power and, payment to our backup operator, Snow Plumbing and Heating was the most significant items. Motion to approve. Check warrant WD 25 in the amount of $4,876.56.
Matt made the motion and Jamie seconded it to approve check warrant report WB number 25. The total amount of $4,876.56. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. All right, that brings us to the town of Arlington General Fund. Check warrant report number 26. Total amount of $416,430.09. Biggest items on here, Bennington County Regional Commission for $6,000. Looks like we bought some salt from Eastern Salt for $4,400 and change. Green Mountain Power, $3,178. Our MES service company, which was for some clothing for the fire department, which was previously approved, that would probably be turnout gear in the amount of $18,696. And our paving for Warmbrook Road, which was $368,943.26.
The largest single item on that.
That was the largest single item on there. So motion to approve check warrant report number 26 in the amount of $416,430.09.
Motion made by Matt and seconded by Jamie to approve check warrant report number 26. Total amount of $416,430.09. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so
Just personnel today, right?
I think that's all. I don't
So
think
that's all we've got, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion that a premature discussion of a personnel issue would cause the municipality to suffer substantial disadvantage.
Second.
Motion made by Matt and seconded by Glenn to establish the reason for the executive session as a personnel matters. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
And I'll make a motion to enter into executive session for said personnel matters and to allow Town Administrator Browning to remain in the room and Highway Supervisor Mark Robinson to remain in the room.
Second.
I also, Josh Brace.
No,
wanted to
he's
call
not
in.
here. He left, he wants to call in. He left a memo. I have a memo.
Okay, but we can.
We can call him if we
it.
need to,
How's
yeah.
that?
Okay.
But include him in the,
Yeah, include the motion.
Amending to add Chief Operator Brace if necessary.
all right, so all those, Matt made the motion, second Glenn. Pardon me, to, enter into executive session for said personnel matter. All those in favor, signify by saying
Aye.
aye.
Do you want to just,
Stop recording.
yes. Do you want me to stay here because
I would, let's meet with Cynthia without Mark real quick first. And then Mark, you can come in and then we'll deal with Joe.